Welcome traders to another Tickmill trading update with me, Patrick Munnelly. Want to update the S&P 500 views and the E-mini futures contract and put together a trade plan for the week ahead, looking specifically today at some action areas for the week and some price objectives and how we're setting up. Before we jump into the technical picture, want to just take a look at the macro side of things. It's relatively quiet today. We have Fed schools be speaking later on this afternoon. Then heading into tomorrow, US housing starts. Wednesday is really going to be, I think, the macro driver for the week, and that's going to be Nvidia earnings coming out after the close. I'll be sharing some video analysis on the setup for that earnings and the potential levels of interest that I'm monitoring in Nvidia. Then heading into Thursday, jobless claims, US existing home sales, some more Fed speakers. And then Friday, we get services PMIs and manufacturing PMIs and University of Michigan's sentiment final. So relatively light week in terms of data, certainly, but we are really going to be focused middle of the week on those Nvidia earnings for a directional move in terms of markets, I think. And then heading into next week on the 28th, it's Thanksgiving. So expecting a little bit of tapering in terms of participation and volumes as we head into the middle part of next week. So let's move to the technical setup and see where we are, starting with the weekly chart here. Let's just expand that. So the weekly chart, we are sitting just above that 58.86 level. 58.86 is important because that's the 5-week volume weighted average price look back. So any close below that level would flip the weekly chart bearish in terms of momentum. But whilst we hold there and against this swing low that we have at the 3,500 level, we're still looking for a 6,100 print. 61 to 6,200 would be the ideal scenario heading into year end here. And we're really going to start thinking about how we get into that trade, because if we look at the seasonals, and over the past 25 years using election years only, you can see that we get that boost into and just post the election, which we've had and have traded through. And then we tend to see a bit of stickiness heading into the 20th of November. So ironically, this year, the 20th of November, like I say, is going to coincide with those Nvidia earnings. So any sustained weakness in the early part of the week, heading into those earnings on Wednesday, it's going to be interesting to see how the market responds then heading into Thursday, Friday. So in terms of the weekly setup, it remains bullish at the moment. Obviously, we'll see where we close out on the week. Moving to the daily time frame, we have our implied volatility weekly ranges here, which is 58.02 on the downside to 59.96 on the upside. That's the options market pricing for the week ahead. Coincides with the monthly R2, but we've already traded in and around there, so not so pivotal. But 59.96 and obviously that 5,600 level will be key on the upside, and 58.02 on the downside, which will be just below where this ascending trendline support comes in now on the daily time frame. So I'm going to keep that in mind. And we've got a low volume area there on the 30-day look back in terms of the volume profile coming in at 58.10. Keep that in mind. So let's move to the weekly plan. So since we put in our high at the 60.50 level, we're in the process, I think, of carving out a 5-way move to the downside. Now, any move up into the 59.26, which is the equality, it's a symmetry swing versus this potential wave 2 high that we had. If we find sellers there, then we will be looking for a 5=1 extension to the downside. So this is our wave 1 here. And if that starts to develop from the symmetry swing objective into those late 59.20s, that's going to set us up for a test of 58.60. Now, I want to pay close attention to that area, certainly If we are trading there, like I say, heading into those NVIDIA earnings, that could be set a near-term base for at least then a test up into the weekly bull bear zone, which I'm using this week as 59.50 to 59.60. Until we get back above there, I think pressure remains to the downside, and so I'll be looking for this 58.60 level as an initial target zone, 58.60 to 58.40, watching for bullish reversal patterns there. Like I say, as an opportunity on the long side, and certainly if NVIDIA earnings come in line or ahead of expectations, that can set the base then for a run up to take a look at our weekly bull bear zone. Now, certainly from there, we'll pay attention to the price action. As you can see, in terms of the the 5-day profile, volume profile, it's double distribution. But this reason why I've chosen this 59.60, 59.50, you can see we have pretty much zero volume transacted there. So it's going to be a key area to see whether or not higher time frame sellers step back into the picture, or we start to set a base for an extension high. We'd be targeting then that's 59.96 to 6,000 level on the upside, which now coincides with this corrective trend channel resistance as well. So that's where I'm at as we come into the week in terms of positions. I'm currently short from the obviously the 60.50 I have running. I also have a 59.11 in play at the moment, risk-free on the 59.11, and obviously risk-free on the 60.50. I'm actually going to trail down the stops on the 60.50 to probably around that 59.65 area to lock in some profits there. But like I say, my objective here this week, coming into this week, is any move down into this 58.60, 58.40 initially will be where I'll be looking at long positions, and certainly any test into this ascending trend line support on the daily time frame and that implied volatility range into the low 5800s will be another area where I'll be looking to set swing long positions and see if we can start to get a move going to set us up into year end. But certainly we have to overcome the weekly bull bear zone before we get more constructive on the price action at the moment. Whilst we're below there, we're looking for an extension to the downside first to then try and set a base. As always, traders, plan the trade, trade the plan, and most importantly, manage your risk. Until next time, thanks very much.